All right, tonight I'm going to talk about the Hammerfall Bunker. So what we've got here is a homebrew chapter, Vault Marines. So this is designed after the Fallout series with some fancy blue and lots of weathering, lots of rust effects on this guy. So painting wise, you started off with doing a whole layer of brown primer. Basically any rattle can primer works on this. And then working up from a really deep, rich bronze or brass color, working up to a gold, and then finally finishing off with a silver dry brush. Just about any of your different brands. This guy was actually painted using a whole bunch of, not Walmart brand, but the acrylic paints, very inexpensive. They have decent metallics, strangely enough. A lot of the other colors don't have good coverage. We used Dutch blue to do the highlights, pick it out, starting in the center of the panels and stippling, working out and leaving that edge raw and exposed. And then we've got, I believe it was Imperial Fist Yellow, which is everybody's favorite yellow these days. It is a speed paint, not speed paint, it's whatever the Games Workshop version is called. It's a thinner, it's more like a glaze, very light, very transparent, but this yellow is really vibrant when you put it over a white base coat. So those missiles were painted in white. When it spins back around again, you'll get a good look at it. And then, of course, this was assembled with the flamer options. Don't know a good way to use this in an army these days. Been looking through, trying to do some theory crafting. I could see a little bit of use in the Anvil Siege Force. Most people don't do Anvil Siege Force because the whole point of that army is to sit still. But this guy is a fortification, so he naturally sits still, so he's always going to get the advantages of that Anvil Siege Force. And then some of the vehicle-based stratagems are available to it. I'm not sure how effective. Still pretty pricey at $175. It's only a little bit less than a Predator or a Land Raider. Those guys are like $210, $250, somewhere in there. And I don't see this being as valuable a piece. They do look cool. I'm painting this one up a while ago, hoping that they might change the rules. Speaking of rules changes, one of the things that I think would make this unit much more playable, and it might be something that could be effective in your Vanguard Spearhead or Firestorm Assault or something like that, is if they gave it the Deep Strike keyword. Because oddly enough, this guy has no, it's a fortification, which you'd think, hey, it's a bunker. My guys can hide inside. It's really cool, and all the art shows it falling from space and dropping down and planting into the earthworks. But it doesn't have any transport capacity. It doesn't carry anybody. So giving it a small transport capacity, maybe just 5. Heck, you could even do 3. So you could do like Blade Guard or something, some of the specialty forces, or God forbid you slap some, I guess they're jump pack Marines. They'd have to have 2 spaces for each one. You wouldn't want to do the Blood Angel winged guys, whatever they're called. But that Deep Strike would make this guy much more interesting to play. Honestly, at that price point, I don't think you'd have to change it very much. He could drop down into an open spot and just hunker down, and that way he would avoid a lot of that incoming fire on the first round, and then he could be a pivot point for the rest of your forces later in the game. Nothing quite as surprising as a big chunky vehicle dropping down in the middle of your enemy. If you wanted to go way out on a limb, which could be interesting, is you could give it some kind of shock and awe strike when it lands. Obviously, it can't charge anybody, so it wouldn't matter how far from your enemy you land. So if you land close enough, maybe a 6-inch range or 3-inch range, you want to keep it pretty tight so it's not too excessive. Maybe it does some of the, like the Hammer of Wrath attacks, where you do a couple of mortal wounds when you land. I believe the Tyranids have something like that. Their Moloch used to do that. I'm not sure if he still does. But that's Hammerfall Bunker, Vault Marines. So pretty cool stuff. Again, a short video. Still working on my format. But if you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Isn't that what YouTubers are supposed to say? Everybody says that these days. Yeah, I'm not going to shill. I don't have any kind of links for you guys to buy any materials. But if you have any questions, just shoot it in the comments and I'll be happy to discuss technique and method. It's not awesome. Oh, I did not mention the rust, the heavy duty rust spots on this guy are actually an old Games Workshop orange ink. It's one of the ones in the original bottles, the flip top lids that they haven't sold for 20 years. But I just happen to have an old one sitting around. Been playing for a few years, since I was a wee lad. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about how to do the painting or assembly, we can talk strategy, any of that stuff. I'll be happy to chat with you guys. All right, have a good night.